Hey, welcome to the virtual campground.
Woohoo!
Is my mic working? Check 1 2, check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Can you hear us, Scott?
Yeah.
Mark, Karen, everybody, can you hear us?
Kentucky, Pleasureville, Kentucky. That sounds like a heck of a place
Sounds like
to
a
be.
nice place to be.
Yeah.
Sounds very pleasurable.
Yeah. So, welcome. We are so glad you are here, back for our monthly adventure on YouTube. And we have a show chock full of stuff.
Chock full.
Chock full. Our son says he can hear us, so that's good. Karen says she can. Well, that's
Yay.
2 at least. So
that's a start.
That's right.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Yes, good. Okay, we can be heard.
Excellent.
So let's say something people want to hear.
So I was born in Dimsbury. Oh,
no, that's not.
Okay.
No.
So, Doug Poole's in the house. Okay, let the party
he wanted
start.
to know that you were born in.
Yeah.
That he might, but
technically I was born in Baton Rouge, so I guess. But anyway, so yeah, we are. I tell you, you know where we are.
First of all, say Happy April to everybody. Happy April.
Happy April.
We're here for April.
Okay.
Spring is happening.
So I forgot
the
to read
cactuses are about to have blooms. I saw a couple this morning, so it's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so
happy April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do a show like this.
I don't think you should. So Barry, I went to the Dollar General store, which is so exciting, and Barry was not as excited as I was to go to the Dollar General. So he said, "Bring me back a surprise." So I did. And that's what he got.
Quite tasty. But I'll save that for later. Okay,
Good
so
idea.
we are outside of Zion National Park. We are actually near Virgin, Utah.
Essentially can see it, right?
Yeah, we can see the edge of Zion National Park right there. We are parked on some BLM land that is pretty incredible.
Yep.
So we scouted this out a couple of weeks ago with some friends. The Kempers were here, and they scouted it out ahead of us and found a couple of spots. And then we came out Sunday, and nothing was available really. And then just happened upon this spot, which was just amazing. So,
well, there were some spots available over on, what's that called? Sheepshead Trail?
Sheep's Bridge.
But it was interesting because for the first time I've ever had in boondocking, we were told there were signs up saying you would have to move. It was reserved for about a little over 24 hours. They're having a ultra marathon over there, so they had reserved those areas.
Which doesn't sound fun at all.
No, it doesn't. I suspect those were for the comfort stations and the things they need for the ultra marathon. But so that was one spot we had thought we'd go to, but so we came back over here and somebody had left, so we got this great spot, and it is very beautiful. But also last night,
oh my God, that's the windiest storm.
That's
I think I've ever
that's the
been
most
through.
wind we've had. Yes, we've been through some things that were windy, and in fact, when we were in hurricane, appropriately, there was a couple of days where it was really, really windy. But I think because you're surrounded by other RVs, we were in an RV park then, that it didn't feel as bad. But last night, I mean, literally was rocking the
it was
rig.
Crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. So let's check. We do have a sunset cam going, just to see. It's actually more of a golden hour cam going. So things are looking good on the mountain over there. That's actually a mesa. So this was an interesting story. We went and drove up the road that leads up to the top of this mesa, but it's closed off. And there's some sort of facility up there. And I did a little research on the facility, and apparently it's a government contractor that does testing for different things up there. And one of the things they tested up there was ejection seat technology for jets.
Back in the 50s, I think.
In the 50s, yeah. And there's a trail up there called Monkey Jump, something like that.
No,
yeah.
Flying Monkey.
Flying Monkey Trail. It's a Jeep trail. And they actually had a period of time where they put monkeys in the ejection seat tester.
Yes.
And
sad.
Yeah, so anyway.
It started out with Sam the dummy, but he apparently didn't give enough information, so they started using monkeys.
So flying off that trail up there. Oh, there goes a car. Go by. Say hi to our neighbor.
And yeah, so that was called Flying Monkey Trail.
Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, it's gorgeous out here. We're, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes from the entrance to Zion National Park, and it is stunning.
And we've been in there a couple of times.
Yep. I went and did a hike, Angel's Landing hike. And for fun, if you go to YouTube and you search for Angel's Landing hike, you'll see a very interesting hike. There were parts of it where the trail was 3 feet apart, 3 feet wide, 2 feet wide, and you're holding onto a chain and doing that hike, and it's a 1,000-foot drop off on either side. It was crazy. So yeah, so it's been a really nice time here.
Yeah, so far so good. Yep. We have 2 more weeks here. And we have our sons coming in on Sunday with a friend. So they're going to hang out with us for a few days and go into the park. We're going to rent e-bikes. Whoop. If only Larry was here, he could tell me. But yeah, e-bikes. So that's exciting. I'm excited to try those. This can be fun. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
So and then the point of doing an e-bike though is because you can get in the core of the park. Right now they've got it closed off. You have to get a shuttle, and getting the tickets to the shuttle is incredibly difficult. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it is, it's really difficult. They sell out like within a minute. And but if you can take bikes into the park.
You can and go down that scenic drive, they call it.
I've read that that's a better way to do the park anyway.
A lot of people have told us that you actually get to see more than from the shuttle bus. So we'll see. And also we're here for 2 weeks. So if anybody's in the Zion area, let us know. We'd love to meet up. And then in 2 weeks we leave and we're going to go towards Death Valley. Yeah. Going to get in another national park. It sounds hot. But
there's also Kings Canyon.
Well, first we're going to go to Death Valley. Then we're going to go to Kings Canyon. Yeah. So if anybody has any tips for either of those places, I've never been to either one, let us know. We would love to get any tips and advice that you guys have.
So you know the story why it's called Death Valley?
I do. But you please share with us.
Well, I'll give you the abridged version is they were crossing, the early pioneers were crossing the desert, and they were really struggling and had to send a party back to go get supplies, and people were dying right and left, and it was pandemonium. Cats and dogs, never mind. So they were crossing and one of the pioneers looked back after crossing and said, "Farewell, Death Valley."
Yes, that's what I've read.
So who knows if that's true, but that's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
I think you should. I think that's an excellent story.
Cool. All right.
So you want to do some celebrations?
Let's do some celebrations. Okay. Let's start with something that's near and dear in our heart. Our son graduated from Colorado State. Is that backwards? Colorado State University.
No,
so in honor of him, I am wearing this, and here we go.
Jason Benton, Bachelor of Science in Psychology with a concentration in General Psychology.
What everybody wanted to see.
Yeah.
Here's our son, Jason.
Throwing his hat that he...
Scott Sparks.
and we got to watch it live, and that just like y'all are watching us live. It was live.
So the odd thing, they're doing it a month ahead of time or whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't actually finish classes for another month.
And they just said show up during this time frame apparently, and
first come first serve.
Yeah, you got in line apparently, supposedly 6 feet apart, and you got in line, and when you got to the front of the line, they called out your name. You walked up and got your. So it was really hard to find them because it wasn't alphabetical or whatever. So you just had to scan the whole thing. Yep. So, but it was great to watch them. We're very proud of our sons. Shout out to Jason, who's not on the program, but his brother Drew is. So anyway. That's our shout out.
Yes. So yes, that was our celebration. What other celebrations? Well, Johnny's not on, but I was going to ask him. Last I heard, he actually had
close to getting his rig.
He had picked it out and was waiting for the financing to come through. So perhaps that's a celebration. The Statlers have gotten their rig back after having tons of repairs, so they weren't able to go to Florida this winter. So they're excited about getting out on the road. And Jamie has launched her course and group coaching, Crafting Your Life Adventure. So check that out. Good. Yeah. And then
what's Jamie's last name?
Feinberg. Okay. And then Katie Helgens. I think a lot of us met Katie at RVE a couple years ago, and we actually have a tour, Summit. Right? And we have a tour of her rig up on our YouTube channel. Yeah. Katie Helgens. She just recently had a baby.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, and she had a tiny baby.
Tiny baby. Like Hayden Zeke Helgens. He's 2 pounds 12 ounces. He was a preebie. Kind of a dramatic story on her Facebook about how he was born, but they're both doing well. She's in Dallas right now, so if anybody is in the Dallas area, she's at Medical City. I think her rig is still about 2 hours away. Mm-hmm. So
she might need some help.
Yeah, I think her parents are around, but I don't know yet. She's still in the hospital, and he will be in the hospital till June, which is about his when he was supposed to be born. So so he will likely be there. Oh, there's Johnny. So shout out to Katie and to Hayden, and if anybody's in the area, or why don't you just send her a note? I would. She's doing great. So it sounds like I've been messaging with her, and she's very active on Facebook. If you want to go on Facebook and check her out, she's at Medical City in Dallas.
Yeah.
So Johnny, we were going to give shout outs, and we were wondering, can we give you a shout out yet? Do you have a rig? So let us know. And then April birthdays. Anybody have a birthday in April? I know one person that does.
Who?
My sister.
Oh my gosh.
Anne Marie.
I forgot.
Mm-hmm. She has a birthday, April 19th. She's not on because she doesn't do any social media at all, but I can give her a shout out anyway. Mom will tell her. Okay. That was all the celebrations I have, unless somebody in the chat has one that they would like to share with us. Let us know.
Fun happening in your life and you want to share it with us, let us know in the chat. We'll wait for Johnny. We'll catch Johnny on the other side of Deborah's news if he does have some news to share with us.
That's right. Let us know, Johnny. It was a very pretty rig, the one he found.
Mm-hmm.
Super C. Okay. You ready?
I'm
news.
Ready. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I am so pumped. Here we go, folks. It's Deborah's news.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to have an opening because you can't find it.
Oh, no. After everybody told us last month.
Everybody stand by for Deborah's news. Okay. There we go. Right. It sounds a little different, but you get the idea.
Oh, our new neighbor's on now. Hi, Dan. Okay. So the first thing we want to talk about is the national parks.
Yes.
So just as we were mentioning earlier about Zion, we have learned that Rocky Mountain National Park is also starting. They just announced that they're going to have a timed reservation for you to come in. Now, they did do this last year with COVID, and the capacity is a little higher than it was last year, but they are still going to restrict starting May 28th until, I don't know that they've told us until when, at least through August.
It may be a permanent thing.
It might
seems
be.
Like more and more parks are kind of going to this.
Well, I think with COVID, they're seeing their numbers go up because everybody wants to get out. And now with this pent up demand of wanting to take a vacation, a lot of people are going places.
The states loosening restrictions.
Right. And they want to be outside. They don't want to go to a lot of inside things. So you have to go online and you have to book it through that recreational.gov. And it's the same thing as here at Zion. And I'm just giving you guys a heads up. If you're planning to go to a state or national park this year, make sure to check and see what the rules are. We did not check here at Zion. No. I did not know about this shuttle thing. And we should have been a month ago trying to get tickets to get on the shuttle. So now what you have to do, and the same thing will be at Rocky Mountain National, they will reserve a small number of tickets that you can try to get the day before. But as our experience has been, you get online at 4:59 to get one of those shuttle tickets. They're gone in 30 seconds, the whole day.
So just to be clear, so they release an allotment of them ahead of time, a month or so ahead of time, and then they reserve some for the next day.
So like the first time they will reserve on at 8 a.m. on May 1st, they will release the tickets that will go from May 28th to June 30th. Rocky Mountain does that a whole month. Zion only does 2 weeks. And that here at Zion at 8 a.m., they go within minutes. All the tickets for the 15 days that they were allowing. So Rocky Mountain, I would imagine to be much the same. And then so then the next time they release them would be June 1st. So the first of every month at 8 a.m. they would be releasing for a month in advance.
Yeah.
And then they will have a small number, about 25%, I think they said they'll keep back, that people can do for daily.
Yeah, and I think the moral of the story is if you're heading to a park this summer, check and find out what the rules are.
Yep.
And if you're coming to Zion, make sure that you have a bicycle.
That's one option. So in Zion, there's two drives. One, you go through the tunnel and you can do that in your car. And one, you have to be on the shuttle. From mid-March to fall, they require people to use the shuttle bus. Yeah. So I think there's also a couple of private groups that you can contract with them for shuttles. It just costs a lot. The thing about the shuttle is essentially free. It's just the $1 for reservation to pay the reservation cost. Yeah. So yeah.
Or you could rent a room in the lodge.
Yeah, that's right, Johnny. About 25%. Yeah, then if you stay in the lodge, you don't
even have to stay in the lodge. Just buy the cheapest room they have, and then you'll get the code for the entry, and then you could drive in and out. Why didn't we think of that? Holy smokes, that's genius.
Because the cheapest room is really expensive. All right, so that's our news on national parks for today.
All right.
You want to talk about Starlink?
I do. I can't wait to talk about Starlink. So Starlink, all of us RVers are waiting to hear what the latest is with Starlink, and they just made a subtle change to their website. So up until now, it was really geared for people that were staying in one spot. If you wanted to change your location, you had to email or contact customer service, and you had to go submit a request for a location change, and then they would approve that change and then make the change. So that was a really cumbersome process and not really suitable for RVers or boaters or anyone mobile. So they just made a subtle change to the website that they didn't really make a huge announcement about, but it was allowing you to make that change on the website. So you could go into your account. If you're one of the beta testers, you can go into your account, change your location, and I think it happens effectively immediately. So all that to say is that Starlink is inching just a little bit closer to being a solution for mobile travelers.
Because right now it's not, because you have to announce an address basically, and it's tied to that address.
It's tied to that address. So the downside is now for the beta testers is it's only there are only certain longitudes, latitudes. One of those, I don't know. I didn't do well in school. So it's one of those, they're only down to a certain level. So, if you go like down here, I don't think it's even available down in the southern U.S.
But they have about 1,000 satellites in the air, and they're adding more. So they're planning to get there.
I can't recall what the number is, but yeah, it should be.
I read today it was over 1,000.
Should be well, the U.S. Should be well covered here shortly.
But also, if you like to boondock, obviously this is a great solution for boondocking if you're like us right now in this space. But if you're someplace with a lot of trees, it might not be as great of a solution. Yeah. Trees will be interfering. So anyway.
So that's our update on Starlink.
More to come.
Let's talk about vaccines.
I just wanted to quick, I know before we'd had some conversation about how do you get the vaccines for those of us that are full-timers, and we can. I got my first shot in Arizona, and I'll be getting my second shot in, I guess, California. So you just have to sign up for them. Of course, now some people are finding the one shots. Our son Drew was able to drive a couple hours and get the thing that's you just need one shot. I think that's Johnson &
Indianapolis
Johnson.
Motor Speedway.
Yeah, at the Speedway.
That's kind of fun.
So,
Johnny Lightning says it's latitude. Okay. Thanks, Jody. That's your word for the day.
Latitude. So anyway, so just that update on vaccines. Really, I think almost across the country, it's pretty wide open now. I know kids are starting to get them as well, so I don't think we're as restricted. And I think you can go through any Walgreens or other pharmacies and make an appointment. And
we've actually heard some areas, some towns actually have leftover doses at the end of their reservations.
Yeah,
and so they're like, if you know somebody that knows somebody, you can get in line and get your, even if you're not supposed to, qualified to rather.
Or not even qualified. You don't have a reservation sometimes. At the end of the day, they might want to have one open, left over, and they don't want to waste them. So let's
talk about HCI.
Yeah, this was interesting. I just saw this, and knowing we were going to be talking about renovations today, I just saw this little, I guess that's what do you call that one? teardrop?
It's not a teardrop. It's like a little tin can, like the old tin can RVs. It's a fiberglass shell, looks like.
Yep, it is. It's a honeycomb fiberglass, and it has a grooved floor. So they have these cubes, these adaptive cube components, and you can move them around kind of like Legos to change up the way it looks inside.
It's totes adorbs on the outside.
Totes adorbs. It's totes adorbs on the inside too. And it even has a front drain so you can just hose out the camper for easy cleanups. I saw one picture where the people had taken the cubes out and they were just sitting outside with those as tables. So I just thought it was a cute little thing, and knowing we were talking about renovations, that I wanted to share that fun little being the key word there, RV that you can pull behind. And then I loved this next story. Okay, so for all my dog lovers out there, this dog was a stray, and he kept sneaking into the Dollar General, speaking of Dollar General, and in North Carolina. And every time he did, he would go to this stuffed animal, and he kept trying to pull it down, and they couldn't figure out why. So finally they called Animal Services, and they came to get him. And the Animal Services person bought the unicorn for him and has said that he sleeps with it, he plays with it, he's always with it. He will not leave it. So isn't that cute? Yeah. And good news, they posted about him, and of course somebody decided to adopt him. So as soon as he finishes his sentence, so to speak, in Animal Services, he will be having a forever family. So that was, I thought, fun. But don't you just wonder what in the world about that unicorn attracted him? It's so funny.
Cute.
And then I had a story for our biking friends. So you guys that love mountain biking, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but
is that a mountain bike or is it a street bike?
Well, that one's a bike. I don't know which one it is, but these tires were invented by NASA originally for the Lunar and Mars rovers. And it's a new kind of bicycle tire that's elastic like rubber, but strong like titanium. It keeps its perfect shape. It can change its shape for obstacles like gravel and potholes, but return to its shape without losing any structural integrity over time. And they
cost $10,000 each.
I don't think they've said yet. But they are called METL tires, and they're available sometime in early 2022 for bikes, and then they'll probably start looking at making them for cars.
Cool.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's been a while since a
new tire.
Yeah, different tire technology.
They also come in different colors: gold, silver, and metallic blue. Just to really make your little bicycle much more jazzy. Stumpy could have a new color. And then late breaking news, I put this in about Harvest Host. They just passed their 2,000th location.
Wow.
So now there are 2,000 choices for you across the country. They're growing a ton. And they also, because of the high demand, in case you did not get in on the on their sale, or not their sale, their price is increasing, and they had said it was going to increase on April 1st, but they had so much demand in that last part of March that they've extended it. So the price will not go up until April 16th. Ooh. So you still have whatever many days today, so 10 days left to buy your Harvest Host. And if you buy it at the current price, plus if you go on our website and use our link, it's only in the 60s, I think, with our 15% off, that locks in that price for you for life.
Yeah, so go to thevirtualcampground.com. Where is that link?
It's on virtualcampground.com/recommended.
Recommended.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
And it was interesting. I thought Joel mentioned, he was interviewed, and he mentioned that with all the RVers that go to these Harvest Hosts, that they've seen an increase of about $13,000 in additional revenue that they were not planning on. And with COVID, that was really helpful to them over the last year, because of course, while you don't have to spend money, you're encouraged to spend money and just to appreciate the host. Yeah. And people usually spend about $50 or less, and that has added up for the host.
We usually spend a lot less.
Depends on where we go.
Yeah, well,
one time we went to a brewery and had burgers and beers for about 2 hours. So I think we gave them a healthy amount.
But it was a great experience.
Yeah, it was
really cool. And we would have probably bought dinner that night anyway, since we were on the way from one place to the next.
Yeah, it's not additional cost, really. So Drew was with us for that. Yeah.
That's right.
So, yes, reinventing the wheel. So Johnny came back and said he, where is it?
sent a lot of money to
He's
a
in
lawyer
escrow,
for escrow.
So no RV yet, but on the way. Okay. Well, you're getting there, Johnny.
Yeah.
One little step at a time. And then Jen on the Crow reminds people that on the Croy, sorry, that also get to your national parks early. And yes, Doug had another thing to celebrate.
Yeah, I can't really see it very well on this thing, but Emily, his sweet youngest daughter, graduates from LSU next month. I don't know how that could be.
It's kind of like our son. How in the world do these kids get older when we stay the same?
And one note on what Jen said on the Croy or Shrag, I don't know who that is. Is that
it's
Jen
probably Jen. Yeah, because Shrag's out of town.
Oh, that's right. Well, I'm sure he's watching. But anyway, yeah. So some of the parks don't even you can breeze right through the gate without waiting in line, without having to deal with anything ahead of time. It just pays to do your research on the park you're going to know what your options are.
There you go.
All right, cool. Good news,
right.
Deborah.
Thank you. Anybody else have any news? Please put it in the chat. And our question for today is, are you planning in the next year to do any renovation on your rig?
Yeah, so it is, by the way, the word of the day is renovation. So every time you hear that word, you need to take a drink. So it is, what is it? Home Improvement Month or
it's
Home Decoration Month?
Decorating Month.
Okay, Decorating Month. Mm-hmm. So in order to celebrate that, we are featuring some of our amazing renovators from the Facebook renovation page. So I put out a call there.
There are some talented people there. Yeah. If you're not part of the RV renovation group on Facebook, join, because just to see the pictures is astonishing.
And it's our group. It's 45,000 or so people, and it's it'll have at the top on the banner it'll say a group by the virtual campground, so you'll know you're in the right Facebook renovations group. At any rate, several people have replied that that they would like to be interviewed. So I've interviewed a few people. We've got two tonight that have done some cool stuff, and these are just teaser videos. The longer videos are on our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube and search for The Virtual Campground, subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified of new postings there. And so yeah, we wanted to share some cool stuff about renovating.
And we'll put links in the notes.
Show notes. Okay. We only stay the same in our minds.
Oh, because of my age.
No. All right, so shall we play Tracy Key's renovation?
Let's do it. Tracy has a 1998 Catalina Coachman.
Yeah, It's a bumper pull trailer. She got it from her parents. And it was in kind of bad shape. She wanted to freshen it up. If you go to her Instagram account, she doesn't have a whole lot of pictures there, but she has a couple of videos that show what it looked like when it arrived, and it's crazy.
And if you watch the video, there's a couple of pictures in that.
Yeah.
And
it's
interesting. She took it to Mexico to have some of the repairs done, which I hadn't really thought about doing that. But she lives in Arizona, so. But anyway, so let's see the teaser.
All right, let's play it. It's about 5 minutes. We'll see you on the other side. First, we have to locate the file.
Oh, well, that would be important. It's interesting in that renovations group we asked the other day.
Hey, Tracy, thank you so much for coming on the virtual campground. We're so glad you are here. So let's talk a little bit about RV renovation. Well, was the water damage the reason you started the renovation, or what was your motivation for doing a renovation in the first place?
Rocky Point or Puerto Penasco is just a 4-hour drive from where I live, and I love the area down there. And my original idea was to transport it to Arizona, renovate it real quick, and then store it in Rocky Point or Puerto Penasco, Mexico, and then allow my close friends to rent it from me and then use it at my leisure when it was done. I decided to get it transported down to Mexico and have some of the heavier work done down there, such as I had to have the roof replaced and the slide out switch wasn't working. And since it was ultimately going to live in Mexico, I was like, well, let me just get this down there, get some of this other harder work done that I could do, but didn't really have the time to do done. And then I would work on the rest. Yeah, it was a complete gut except for the kitchen. I didn't take out the kitchen cabinets, the sink, the fridge, or the sink area, but everything else was the bed. I didn't pull out the bed. So the total cost is it's more if I include the transportation cost. So with the total transportation cost and the renovation that I've done so far is probably close to $5,000. I actually took pallet planks and cut them away from the pallets and use that for my walls. So I have a rustic pallet wall on all of the walls in my trailer.
What was your least favorite or most challenging part of the renovation?
Well, it's the most challenging and least favorite has been the slide out. Not the walls, but the floor. So there's a subfloor and then there's the frame, and then under that is an underlayment material that in this particular trailer had extensive water damage to it. A week ago, we had to go down and make sure that it was flush or put a tarp on it until we could get back down there, because I knew it was going to be a month before I could work on it again, and it could rain anytime. And I was like, I don't want to do all this work and put in all of this effort for us to get water in it again. So
Yeah,
we made sure that was covered up.
Was there a favorite part of doing a renovation like this?
You know, it's always a journey. Anything like this can be frustrating and the labor of love all day long. What I have found to be most favorite is watching the transformation, to see what it was like prior to gutting it, to seeing what it was like once I gutted it and all of the damage, and now seeing most of it coming together.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about if you were having a conversation with someone that expressed interest in purchasing an RV to renovate. What tips would you give them before they ever purchased? Anything to look for?
I would say make sure that you really understand that it could be a lot more work than what you ever expect. What I expected to be a little bit of water damage turned into being a lot of water damage. A little bit. Be prepared for anything. Be prepared for something to pop up that you can't plan for. It whether you're renovating a house or an RV, that can always happen. But with an RV, they're not built like houses. Really, there's a lot of staples. Be prepared for a lot of staples if you're gutting. Take very precise pictures of what you're pulling out. You might have to reference them. The other one is just patience. Be patient with yourself, and be willing to walk away when you feel like you want to throw your hands in the air and just come back to it another day.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, great advice.
Yeah, so this is the if you were standing inside the RV, and this is the slide out, so it would be the right corner of the slide out, and you can see it has a lot of water damage that did have some black mold. And what we did was pulled all of the old insulation out and took out the mold infested beams, the 2x2s that were there. The way RVs are made, the screws went all the way through the existing boards, so we had to get outside to pull the vinyl out so that we could see what we were dealing with. And it worked out. Actually, it ended up being a better plan than trying to do it from the inside, because we could slide the replacement 2x4 up through the outside rather than trying to push it down on the inside and then readjust it. I was going to note too, one of the things that I learned on my journey is I replaced 2 electrical outlets on my own. And it was the first time I've actually replaced an electrical outlet by myself. And they're a little bit different than household ones.
Well, we can't thank you enough for coming on. Really appreciate you sharing your tips and your expertise and your experience with renovations. And thanks for popping on the virtual campground.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'd love to share my journey.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, so that was Tracy, and that was just the teaser. As we said, it is. She has a lot more information on the video that's on our YouTube channel.
Yep,
So
she talks a little bit more about that damage and that mold. Mold bad. Gives some good tips about measuring and taking pictures. So definitely worth watching the full. I think it's about 15 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. And she does a TikTok video. That's on the extended one.
There is.
Yeah. So in the longer form video, there at the end, there's a TikTok video.
Oh, fun.
Where she kind of walks through her rig. So
that's fun.
Yeah.
I know how much you love TikTok. So it's interesting. So these two folks both came from our RV renovations Facebook group, like we said, and we did a poll there, and I was really curious because some of these decorations that you see, they're really big.
Yeah,
they're
look
pretty
like
major, and they change the furniture and everything. So I thought, well, these people must not be traveling. But when we did the poll and asked, the number one the people that fell into the poll, number one was that they traveled on weekends and for long vacations in their rig. Yep. And then number two was full-timers renovating for life to live in it. And then three were people that were more stationary and didn't move very much. Yeah. And then there were a couple, not very many, that flipped them. That's what they did.
Yeah, I was surprised that was
it was very small. Yeah, we thought it would be much bigger. So that was kind of interesting. So that gives me, I guess, hope or inspiration that some of these things where they're doing major changing out the furniture and doing things with shelvings and stuff, that they actually can travel.
Yeah. So yeah, and I don't know if it makes it in this next video, but in the longer one, certainly it does. When I was talking with Erica, she specifically says in there, well, when she does move, she has to pull everything down. She has boxes and she puts everything in its box.
But we do that as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you have to do. If you want to make your rig look like home, so to speak, you do that.
Yep.
It's not that big a deal.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, let's talk about Erica. So Erica, she actually has been living full time in her rig, but stationary. She's moved it once or twice, she said, but mostly stationary for about 5 years. So since she was about 20.
So
mostly through college, it sounded like.
She's a sweetheart, and she is currently in the New Orleans area, and connected her actually with Doug's daughter there.
Oh, fun!
And sweetheart. So this is another teaser video. Let's see if I can find it.
She has a 2005 Holiday Rambler Presidential.
Yeah, that's a fifth wheel, right? I think it's a fifth wheel.
Fifth wheel.
It's a pretty decent sized rig.
Yeah, I think she said 36 feet.
Yeah, pretty decent sized rig. So stand by. I'm going to locate this video, and we'll be right back.
I like that y'all think your rig is going to be a blast. It will be a blast. Can people hear us?
Hey, Erica, welcome to the virtual campground. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad you're here.
I've lived in my RV for about 5 years now, and I have learned so much about all the things renovation and RVs, from how to paint and how to do woodwork, and also how to deal with electrical outlets. And but I can say that I didn't do any of it alone, which is a huge deal to me, that I had the help and community to kind of build on this experience. Yes, so I live in a 2005 Holiday Rambler Presidential, and it's 36 foot, 3 slide outs. It's honestly pretty large. It compares to some of my friends' apartments to me. I want to, like, this is a cool opportunity to make this completely my own, like my own vision. Yeah, so I started out with painting, and that was the first big move. And I'm sure everyone who has renovated an RV just knows how frustrating it is to strip and sand and do all the things and all the cabinets. It was a lot just doing the painting. I just started ripping things out and learning how to do all the things that I wanted to do. I learned woodwork over the summer, which was interesting. I learned plumbing and electrical work and paneling. So the second phase of renovating, I did find water damage, which is apparently everyone's fear, and it was definitely mine. That is it. I love being able to look at the work that I did and also remember the people that helped me. And we had dance parties and stayed up at 3 a.m. And, you know, it's really the memories with the people that I got to renovate with. And that's just really fulfilling in itself. I did not enjoy laying flooring. I did not enjoy specifically doing the stairs. The stairs are not fun. Yes, start with paint, always. Painting will change the feel overall immediately. It's cheaper if you do it yourself, but don't do it alone. You can do it. It's all doable. I didn't know how to do anything at all. And and it turned out well. I wanted light and positive, I don't know, emotions coming from the space that I lived in, or giving me positive emotions. And I also wanted home and modern, and, you know, I chose colors based around those ideas and feelings that I wanted to be associated with. So no, I had an idea the second I walked into the RV, honestly. I knew exactly what I wanted. And honestly, my vision for the RV didn't change much over the past 5 years. I did a little bit at a time, but along the way, the vision didn't really change. I knew exactly what I wanted as soon as I walked into it, truly. I didn't know that what I did 4 years ago, I didn't know that was possible to do. It was through inspiration from other RVers that came along that I found out that I could do these things, and I did.
Take a look at that bathroom before, and then here is after. Quite change. That's beautiful. Great. Let's talk about your living room. It was quite a mess. You took this photo.
There it is.
Okay, so, and this is what it turned into. That's amazing.
Yes, that is my lovely little space. Yeah, I remember that first night whenever I ripped everything out and thinking, oh my gosh, there's no going back now. Like, this is it. Here we are. Once you get into the renovation process, it's just keep moving forward. Just keep doing it. It's going to look weird. It's going to
don't give up. But thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. It's very nice meeting you.
Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You as well.
Oops, forgot to take those parts off the teaser.
You need to have all those slides in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, pretty incredible renovation.
Yes.
Looked amazing.
I wish I could do that in my bathroom. Ours isn't half that size.
I thought it was really sweet that she had dance parties and pizza parties.
I love that as a tip. Have a dance party when you're doing a renovation. Right. Johnny, you should do that for the apartments. Have a dance party.
Right. Buy the pizza and beer, and we'll have the beer after you finish some of the renovation for the day.
Mm-hmm. But their bedroom, she did all of it, and it looks great, amazing, very
Yeah,
Lots
I like
of
the
cool
lights, Tony.
things.
That was the lights were cool. That shower enclosure was cool. And she said in the longer video, that was just an Amazon bundle. She got the shower, the fixtures, the shower pan. So really
and I think
cool.
she did a great job with the window treatments, which are always a huge thing in RVs. Is the window treatments that we get a lot of comments on that in the renovation group about people changing out their windows. I am not up for painting all of this brown. I would love for it to not be brown, but that sounds like a lot of work to me. And she talks about the steps she went through to paint hers. But definitely window treatments and some painting walls could probably be a little bit easier.
Maybe in Uray we do a dance party.
Yeah, we'll have a dance party and everybody can help us celebrate.
Everybody bring a paintbrush.
Add that to the camp Carpe. No, people won't come. So no, that's not safe. Yeah. So we are going to do some rig tours. So people that have renovated or not renovated, whatever, we're going to have some rig tours during the Camp Carpe Diem too. So you might be able to still pick up some ideas when you're there.
That'll be cool.
So yes, absolutely.
I mean, even most people have, even if they haven't done full scale renovation, they've tweaked things here and there.
And it's just also nice to see how people organize and make it look like home.
Yeah. Yeah, like Scott Chipman. I mean, we have several RV tours on our YouTube channel. Scott Chipman did one, and he did some nice little touches that made it nice and homey for him. And
him and Stevie.
The Smiths, they did a really nice renovation on their fifth wheel. So yep. Okay, well let's let's see if our sunset cam is still. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sunset cam's looking good. Nice shadows coming across the mountain there. Very cool.
Across the mesa.
The mesa. Yeah, not a mountain. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. So we want to talk about what's coming up. What's the next?
Yeah, well, we wanted to give an update. Y'all might remember we've talked before about Britton and Josh, and we had them on, and they're another one that we have a tour of their Airstream. They like to collect vintage Airstreams and renovate them. There they are with Walter. And
Walter's the cat, not the RV.
Right. Yes, true. Though the RV has a name too, I just don't remember it. But Walter is the cat. But they have recently gone in on it's kind of a campground. It's a resort, I guess, really, more than a campground. There they are. They're at the Flathead Lake Resort, and that little spot there is their beach.
That looks really nice.
I know. Flathead Lake Resort. And we're going to be there actually at the end of June, early July, over the 4th of July. We're going to stay at a campground not far from there, Big Fork, because their campground is more of a resort where you can rent cabins and stay in the vintage Airstreams that they own. Yeah. So, but we thought that was kind of fun because if y'all did see their interview with Britton and Josh, they were still debating on what their next step was. They were still collecting Airstreams and they were thinking about getting into a campground or placing all the Airstreams in one place, and by goodness, they did it.
They achieved their goal,
right.
So that's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
So come see us up there. We'll be there for
June 27th to July 10th.
Yeah, and that's not too far from
Crater Lake.
Crater Lake.
Another national park.
Not
Crater Lake.
Glacier National Park. Yeah. So another bucket list item for us. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'm excited to be up there. So if anybody's gonna be up there, let us know. In fact, before we go there in May to June, we're gonna be in Chowchilla, California. Mm-hmm. Right outside of Fresno. So also if somebody's going to be in Fresno or that area, let us know and we'll plan a meetup. Try to get together with folks.
Yeah, the reason we're going to be out there is because that's not too far from Yosemite.
Very good.
And so, we're going to be exploring. We'll be there for a whole month.
Yep.
So that'll be fun.
That will be fun. So,
with
the campers. Yes. Come see us. I'll be gone for a week, so come and keep them all going.
That's right, exactly.
Because, without me, it's so sad.
It's no fun.
That's not quite right. No, Walter doesn't come with the rental. No, but I'm sure you get to see Walter at some point. Yes.
Yeah, Walter is such a cool cat. So laid back. So
literally.
Cool. Okay, so let's
Scott,
see.
we wish you were out here too.
And the other thing we have coming up this year is, of course, we've talked about this a number of times, but Camp Carpe Diem, October 7th to the 10th, Ouray, Colorado. Tickets are still available. We've got a nice set of people coming, and we're doing some fun stuff like bike riding, mountain bike riding. And
Yoga.
There'll be mountain bike riding for advanced and for beginners, and I'll be doing some photography tours and talks, and we've got some yoga happening, and the rig tours Deborah mentioned earlier. So
and
lots of cool
campfires
stuff.
with marshmallows and
s'more stuff,
smoking some meats and things. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I hope you can join us for that. Go to campcarpediem.com to get more information and buy your tickets.
Excellent. Yes. Yeah, it looks like a great place to fish there at that lake.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's got to be incredible.
It's beautiful. They should change it to Airstream Valley, says Johnny. Okay, and let's see. I believe you had something to share with us today.
Oh yeah. So I'm bringing back. After very little demand, I am bringing back
the virtual campground joke of the week.
Suddenly I changed places.
Yeah, I got to work on that. All right, so the first joke. Did you know that it's been scientifically proven that spiders are smart? And do you know why they're so smart?
They have 8 legs. I don't know. They're daddy long legs.
So smart because they can find anything on the web. Get it? Get it? Get it? The web?
I do get it.
Spiders have webs.
I do.
So this is sort of a scientific thing. Which is faster, hot or cold? Which is faster, hot or cold? No idea? Any guess?
Hot.
Hot, because you can catch a cold.
I didn't know that was reason. I just guessed hot.
All right, final joke. As a termite walks into a bar and asks, what would a termite walk into a bar and ask?
Something about wood.
Is the bartender here? Get it? The bartender is the bar made of wood.
Is the bartender here? I got it. Oh my goodness.
So this will be my last showing of the dad joke of the week.
I think your last one was better.
I'm going a different route this time,
yes,
just to see. You got to test things.
You got to try things out. That's exactly right.
Test different things.
Yep. Next time we'll do a game instead.
No,
maybe not.
We're going to perfect this.
We are going to perfect it. Yes, Barry will be without supervision for a little over a week. Well, Jen will be. I'm going to pay Jen to keep an eye on him. And then what was the other question? Oh, and I don't know about roasting peeps. We'll roast marshmallows if you want to bring peeps. I'm happy to roast them, Johnny.
That'd be kind of fun.
And have you ever heard of woofums? Okay.
I think it's I don't know that that's widespread at all.
No. So I just learned about woofums. One of the folks in our group community told us about this. Catherine, I think her name is. Woofums. And it basically is this idea that you have, a stick like you do the marshmallows, but at the end of the stick is a little rounded tube-like thing. You can buy them online. And you put a crescent roll, those triangular crescent rolls around it, and you roast it just like you do marshmallows. So that cooks it. And then you can slide it off, and then you fill it with pie filling or pudding or all kinds of good stuff. Or you can do savory things too. Yeah. So never had heard of these. It's now in my recipe book, and I'm going to have to see about how this works. Yeah. We'll have to try it out.
But you have to have a rod, a stick, or something that helps hold that shape. So,
yes, you do. So we're going to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Maybe that'll be a Camp Carpe.
And coming up soon, solar. You want to talk about solar?
Yeah. So Dan
is our new neighbor.
Yeah, our new neighbor. So Dan is a solar consultant, and so he and I have been talking, and we're going to put together a series of beginner solar, basically just introducing people to the solar concept. How do you start? what questions you should be asking an installer, and how do you get through it. So Dan just showed up out here with us on BLM land, and we're going to start recording some tips and tricks. If you have any specific questions about solar or any advice on that, then let us know, and Dan and I will be shooting that over the next few days, and we'll be releasing that on our YouTube channel.
So send us any questions you have to barry@thevirtualcampground.com so he can make sure to ask Dan the questions to put in the video.
And like I said, Dan's a solar consultant. He doesn't do very many installs, but he helps people design their installs. So we're excited to have him as a partner on the virtual campground.
Yep. Jen is now very concerned about the fact that she's going to be alone with you in Shrek and is asking for reinforcements in May. So anybody that's up for it, let us know.
Easy.
Okay, the next live is May 4th. We'll be back here live on May 4th. And in the meantime, we will be on Facebook on April 22nd, live on Thursday. So hopefully you guys can join us, one of those two things.
Yeah. Please
invite your friends to come and join us. Tell them to subscribe here to Live at the Virtual Campground or join us on our Facebook group.
Yep. All right. So, so this week's Ask, actually, we want to ask you for your help in spreading the news about the virtual campground. So if you wouldn't mind inviting a friend to thevirtualcampground.com, ask them to sign up for our weekly email. Deb puts together a really cool email every week and just update people on what's going on in the RV world and some nice links to some things. So sign up for that if you're not a member of that, and then please invite some people to that. So that's it. That's our ask. Thank you so much for being here. It's always great seeing you all, and thanks for being a part of the virtual campground, and thanks for sharing our little website with your friends.
Do we have an outro?
We do have an outro. I'll probably have to find it, but we do have an outro. This is a little backstory.
Okay.
How much time do we have?
Not very much.
So, not much. Okay, so a quick backstory. We are putting together, so we had such a great time in the Verde Valley and Sedona and all that. We're putting together our list of favorite places to go and see and tips when you go to that area. So I've pulled some of my favorite photos from Sedona from previous visits as well as this last one. And so this is just a quick slideshow about Sedona, Arizona, which is incredible. And if you have any questions about that, look for that upcoming tips article, blog post,
video.
What do you call it?
A vlog. That's video. A blog.
I don't know what the cool people are calling it. Okay, so I'm gonna locate that slideshow for you and play it. So don't leave. And if you would hit a thumbs up on your YouTube channel thing, Doohickey. And that would be great.
We get all these technical terms down.
Yeah, I'm pretty much an expert when it comes to technology. So we're so glad you were here. Until we can see you in person, we hope to see you in the virtual campground.
See you around the campfire.
thunder and ho-ho-ho. They all knew at a glance when he took up his stance and he sailed on the Irish rover.